All Progressives Congress has criticized Amnesty International for its report that more than 120 people have been killed in shootings since President Bola Tinubu's inauguration on May 29. The group says rural communities are always bracing themselves for the next bout of violence due to deadly attacks by rampaging killers. It said the failure of the federal government to protect Nigerians is gradually becoming the norm in the country. But the APC has hit back, with spokesman Felix Morka saying the report is far from reality and unfair to the new government. Well, what is reality and what is fair? We'll find out from Felix Morka.
Well, let's bring in the Acting Director General of Amnesty International, Issa Sanusi, and APC National Publicity Secretary, Felix Morka.
All right, well, we do have Felix Morka right here in the studio with us. Felix Morka, I mean, you want to... Why exactly are you saying this is unfair? I mean, criticism, they say, helps you to, do what is required at the right time. Why are you pushing this back?
All right, thank you so much, Angus. We're not averse to criticism from any quarter about things that affect our country and our citizens. As I have always maintained, any time that a Nigerian citizen, or any person who is within the territory of Nigeria is killed or injured in the circumstances that we have witnessed unfold in our country, it is absolutely regrettable. Matter of fact, my heart and the heart of all of us in the party, go out to the families and the friends and the relations of those who are affected. This is something that shouldn't happen. Every citizen matters. That life that the Constitution says, every person matters a lot and should be protected. And the government has a duty to protect all of us. But having said that, I think that the report by Amnesty International was somewhat insensitive and inconsiderate.
In what way?
In the circumstances, because it was very categorical in really citing the our new president as being derelict in his responsibility to protect Nigerians. And I don't think that's actually called for. It's absolutely unwarranted. This president has made clear that tackling insecurity in the country is about his top priority. He said that very clearly. And a few days after he took office, he had meetings with the security chiefs where he absolutely made clear that he will not accept tardiness, that he expects them to actually coordinate and work in harmony to defeat whatever it is, whether it's terror or banditry or just this sort of violence, that they should do that. And not only that, he's monitoring and putting out energy to them to say, look, this is not going to be accepted. So for Amnesty International to make that assessment, within 2 weeks, that this president is perhaps failing to protect, that is, I think, hasty and inconsiderate.
Okay, now the report from Amnesty International dates back to a few years back. They're just using recent events as a template or as a reference. Right. Now, I want you to know that we're not here to defend Amnesty International or anyone. We just want to set the record straight. Yes. So let's look at the recent killings in Plateau and other parts of the country. Chapter 2 of the 1999 Constitution, as amended, states clearly the functions of the government. The primary purpose of the government is the security and the welfare of the people, QED. Now, we're not indicting any administration in particular, but would you say, in all sincerity, that the government of Nigeria has lived up to this obligation?
The government of Nigeria has, within the context of our country, has consistently sought to improve its record in tackling, violence of whatever kind, whether it's of terror or banditry or kidnappings or other forms of violence. We've seen, even under the former president, an uptick in the effort to combat this sort of violence and to protect our people. Whether it's better funding for the military or for the police, I don't think that's in dispute any longer. We're no longer having that debate. It is on record that even the outgone government, really did more to improve the capacity of our, security forces to engage and to combat, violence. Now, the point to be made here is that insecurity is a reality of life with us and with the rest of the world. I was told that the Amnesty acting country director was going to be here. But I was going to say to
he couldn't make it.
He couldn't make it. No, that's fine.
Cancelled.
Yeah. So I would hold back a lot of what I thought I would share. But fact of the matter is that in these Western countries that we see as models of democracy and or even of security, you see, there's something that when it comes to preventing crime or violence, no country does it that well. No country. Yes. Even countries with the very best, the finest technology and capacity and crime databases and all of that, they don't do that much to prevent, but they may do a whole lot to apprehend and to prosecute.
Now that seems to be where the challenge is. When we hear of unknown gunmen, a terrorist attacked a church somewhere or a mosque,
they never
or
become
a market,
known.
We have never heard of arrests.
But you see,
or imprisonment, prosecution of these criminals.
True.
That is where the challenge is. No. And as far as Amnesty is concerned, it looks like, government is really just sitting on its, on its butt, saying, look, after all, we're not the only ones, suffering from this whole insecurity situation. Just like you reeled out, in the West, it's the same challenge. What Amnesty is saying, in just 2 weeks, 120 Nigerians have been killed. Exactly. It looks like these criminals are taking advantage of that, transition period. Is government being caught napping on this?
No.
What proactive measures has this government taken to ensure that within this transition period, these people don't take advantage? No,
the government is not napping, whether caught or not, on this matter. The government is putting out, a whole lot of effort. Now, for the number of cases that are reported, where these criminals who simply target innocent Nigerians pick soft targets to kill and to maim and to hurt. People who operate in the shadows, who are not coming out with their chest out to commit these crimes. These are people who pick on people who are living their lives quietly in the villages, in the countryside. The point is that those who are intent on committing crime, preventing them from committing those crimes
is the job of the government.
It's the job of the government, but it's also not, an easy nut to crack for Nigerian government or for any government anywhere in the world. School shootings, for instance, in the United States, gun violence, generally speaking, happens by the minute. Just this, last year alone, we're talking 30,000, 38,000, 40,000 over the last 3 years. Of people who have died in the United States, where they have all the technologies, but they are still not able to prevent those things from happening. You may catch them later after they do it, but you are not able to prevent them. Okay. Let me just finish my thought. The point I'm making is that in our country, we are still evolving. Even our security system is evolving. That's what the president said in his inaugural speech and since he got inaugurated, that he is about to radically transform our security doctrine and the architecture for protecting our people. Because see, we're dealing with a lot of a legacy.
Can you give us a peek into that? Because every time we talk to experts here, they mention the need for technology, that this can no longer really be a manned situation.
Absolutely.
Something as simple as CCTV in public places.
Correct. CCTV,
that is not even being discussed at all.
It will be discussed under this government. Intelligence will be core in the government's approach to dealing with security. Because see, a whole lot of this is not about just having policemen at roadblocks. It's about having forensics and having databases and having systems that allow you to monitor in real time and also stepping back to get information that allows you to preempt and even identify people in the dark world who can help our agencies to forecast where things might happen and to listen we don't have a whole lot of listening capacity. That is part of what this president has actually promised he's going to do. And, you know, see, look, you know, our country is work in progress.
Okay,
like many countries of the world.
Our country is work
yes, it's work in progress. But that work in progress will be accelerated under this new president.
That's exciting, right? Really. That's really encouraging to hear. But you see, when we don't give consequences to crimes or negative actions, what we're doing is we're rubber stamping. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're encouraging a repeat.
I agree.
Okay, so what rhetorics do you think have been handicapping the government from carrying out impartial investigations and reprimand of those who have continued to perpetrate these crimes?
Look, it's simple. Unlike many countries, especially advanced countries, where every citizen is registered, whether you are born out of wedlock or born, you know, by a single mother or whatever, you know, the register of births and deaths is solid. Social Security registration is also solid. We're beginning to actually tread that path with all of these things that, you know, we're hearing. You know, national identity, you know, and so on and so forth. We're beginning to build our database. You cannot truly investigate people that you don't even know they exist. That's what we're dealing with. Many of our police officers and, you know, even the military, when these crimes are committed, they're dealing with people who sometimes have lived in the forests all their lives, have no record in the public space.
But sometimes we hear that the intelligence, the DSS, would have given the government
some kind of heads up.
And then we still wouldn't do anything.
You can't rule out the failure of intelligence, or the failure of coordination, or the failure of action, even when sometimes there's a lead.
And human lives are involved.
Human lives are involved. You can't rule that out. And you can't rule that out not just here, but anywhere else. But look, the point is that I think, for me, part of why I'm somewhat, you know, inspired is that we have a new day in our country. We have a new sheriff in town who I know is, you know, has an attitude to these things, who is coming to this whole question and conversation of the security of our people with a level of seriousness never before seen. You know,
all right, and that's what
leadership.
Nigerians want to see very, very quickly. They don't want any gaps at all as far as security is concerned. Thank you so much, Felix Morka,
Thank you
for joining us, APC
Thank
National Publicity
Secretary
there.
Thank you so much.